I'm a little fired up, Ken. We are talking specifically about Flock Safety, a $7.5 billion company selling LPR cameras to a city, town, or police department near you.
Welcome back to the Security Bros. I'm Ken, this is James, and a lot of properties have LPR cameras, license plate recognition cameras. A lot of security companies install them, including ours. So James, what is the difference between those standard LPR cameras and these Flock LPR cameras?
So with a typical business, they more than have the right to use those cameras to see who's coming and going from, say, like their parking garage. The difference between what these private property owners are doing and what the majority of Flock's business is Flock Safety is selling to, like I said, governments, towns, police departments, cities, and putting them all over and using them to track where you and I and everybody else is going. Now, Flock claims that their cameras do not track people. So they say these Flock, the cameras, will capture vehicle data, so red pickup truck, and the license plate of that pickup truck. Now, if it can't view the license plate, it'll still capture red pickup truck. If you walk down the road, it still takes a picture of you as a person just walking, but it says it's not storing that data. They say on their website, Flock does not track or follow people. It takes a picture of a vehicle at a particular place and a particular moment in time. If you have 80,000 of these cameras, which estimates are that that's somewhere about how many of these Flock cameras are out there. If you have 80,000 of these cameras taking pictures of people at specific moments and locations in time, and then you collect all of that data and you sift through it, it's tracking people, bro. It seems contradictory because the idea behind a sale to the police department or the city is that if you have a stolen vehicle, you're able to track down that stolen vehicle, AKA the cameras are used for tracking.
They're trying to walk that fine line because they want to make a lot of money on those 80,000 cameras. They don't want to get shut down over a technicality.
Well, they do, and they you know, if you look into it, they're trying to put out good vibes. They understand that if you put the wrong message out there, you're going to piss off a lot of the population, which they already have. If you don't just watch our video, go look into it in other places, you're going to see there's a lot of people that are pissed. And there's a lot of people that when they're finding out about what these cameras are doing and they're starting to notice.
These cameras are out there photographing everything. And it's Big Brother, but the government's doing it with our tax dollars. They're surveilling us.
Growing controversy surrounding the use of automatic license plate reading cameras here in Denver. Law enforcement using these so-called Flock cameras in a number of crime-fighting tactics.
People are getting upset that everywhere they go is being tracked. The Fourth Amendment of the United States says that the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or thing to be seized. Basically, give me my privacy. And this is an infringement on that. I ran across a really, I thought it was a well-done video by a YouTuber called Ben Jordan. And they were able to do a little hacking and a little testing, pulling them apart, looking into them. And they found some really interesting things and, frankly, some pretty scary things. So they were able to change the image data and also change the history in the camera software to basically show that they weren't even there futzing around with stuff. If this camera captured your car driving down the road, they could go into the camera, change the image, basically do some Photoshop or whatever, take your car out, put an image in showing something else. So change the image, and then they could cover up their tracks in the software, basically. Flock claims that these LPR cameras are only taking pictures of vehicle data and license plates. They found it was capturing pictures of people. It's not putting in the same data location, but it's still taking those pictures and just sticking them in a different folder somewhere. Yeah, they might not be actively doing anything with the data, but it's there. The pictures are still there. Flock claims that they are not capturing any human data, but as we just talked about, the cameras are taking that data and saving it, just kind of in a hidden folder. My question was, what are they classifying as data? To me, if you're capturing an image of me walking down the street and storing it, that's data of me being there.
And storing
Right, or at least it's being collected on the camera.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's not being sent to their cloud servers.
Well, it's their camera
Right.
that they develop, and it's being stored on a device they have access to, correct?
Yeah.
So they're collecting it and they're storing it. The technicality is where they're storing it. They're saying, well, it's not being stored on our server. It's still being stored at a location you have access to.
Right.
So you're storing it. That's like me saying, I'm not storing it on my hard drive. I'm storing it on a flash drive. I'm storing it.
Right.
They're storing it. They're collecting it. They're storing it. They have it. And I bet if the government wants access to that, they're going to make it available to the government, right?
Yeah, I mean, whoever their customer is,
Yeah,
and
they
a
don't
lot
wanna
of
lose
times
that
the customer
contract.
is the government. They might have access to it now, but they're doing a lot of things that could jeopardize the data. Your data, the data of you traveling all around the city, where you're going, what time you're coming and going, you know, where exactly you're going, what type of vehicle you're in. This isn't a vendetta against Flock. I love tech. I love all kinds of cool things. But the problem here is you have mass surveillance by your local government, as well as a company that doesn't really seem to be taking the initiative to secure the data that they're responsible for. We're all being tracked by these things.
The claim is that the cameras are not being used to track illegal persons.
Right.
They're only being used to track legal persons,
Correct.
which is typical of government. They're more concerned about tracking and going after people that aren't harming anybody. Let's just make life harder for them instead of going after actual criminals, which is what I mentioned in the first video we did about this type of surveillance, where normally, like with the clients we work with, the whole reason for having surveillance is to look at it specifically when there's an incident and to look as narrowly as possible to try to find perpetrators. The way that the government uses surveillance is they're mostly monitoring people that are committing no crimes whatsoever in hopes of catching the one-off crime. I think you said it's like less than 1%. And whenever somebody does this long enough, in this case the government, they eventually believe that is their job, to monitor average citizens doing average stuff. Eventually they'll take that as just a given, like, yeah, that's what we do. That's our job. Of course we should monitor citizens. If we weren't monitoring all the citizens all the
It would be
time,
unsafe.
yeah, like it would be mayhem.
Yeah.
You know, as if people didn't get along just fine without being monitored all the time.
It has been scientifically proven that people hold themselves, like when somebody feels like they're being watched, they suck into like a little shell, right? So if your whole population feels like the government, it's like something from I just read 1984. Such a depressing book. But the whole thing there was that the entire government, or the government, was watching every single thing that people did, was listening to every single thing that people did, and nobody wanted to be themselves. The federal government will get that data one day, trust me, because the Patriot Act, we've talked about that in the past. And second of all, this has been proven from places like these social media companies that say they're never going to give out your data, and then the federal government comes knocking, produces some sort of something, and they're like, oh yeah, oh, okay, here you go.
Of course, all those companies do it because the companies, they like to make money. Flock likes to make money. Like that's their currency. Money is their currency. For the government, power is their currency.
Exactly.
They can come up with some kind of problem that will help shut them. I mean, they've proven that with TikTok. Like if they want to shut it down, they can shut it down.
Yeah.
They can come out and say you're supporting terrorism or pedophilia or whatever they want to come up with currently, and they can find a way of getting you shut down. Okay, so if they threaten Instagram or Flock with this, every one of those companies has proven that with enough pressure, they will like turn it over. And with Flock, it would be super easy because, you know, with Instagram, they have plenty of customers. I don't know if they have any government customers, right? But Flock, the government is their big customer.
Right.
So they don't even, their big threat can just be like, we'll start working with a different company then if you won't play ball with us. If you won't play by our rules, we just won't renew your contract. What good are you? And then Flock says, well, gosh, I don't want to lose the contract for 80,000 cameras, and they'll just give them whatever they want.
I think it's more a matter of when than if. There is a group that created something called 𝐷FLOCK. It's a website. If you go to 𝐷FLOCK.me, it's a map of the world, and you can add, if you find a flock camera is not on there, you can add a location to the flock, and basically you can zoom in and out of your city. You can see where all the flock cameras are in your area. The CEO of Flock, let me see, I don't want to mess this up. He called 𝐷FLOCK a terrorist organization and related them closely to Antifa because they're trying to put out the information of where all these cameras are. So that's really all I got.
Can that CEO go flock himself?
Yeah, go flock yourself. Really, this is just to bring awareness of
About awareness.
what is going on, where we are with these, and there are some things you can do. You can reach out to your local representatives in the government and say that you don't want to be continuously monitored everywhere you go at every hour of the day. And that's all I have to say about that.
And if that's all you have to say about that, why don't you go ahead and like this video so we know, and share it so your friends know.
Bye.